Hey everyone, it's Brendan here, and welcome back to the channel. And we just had some big crypto news get released because Hong Kong is supposedly lifting their ban on crypto retail trading, and this could happen as early as next month. So I'm sure you're wondering, Brendan, why is this a big deal? Why should I care? None of my viewers are from Hong Kong. None of you are from Hong Kong. So how does this impact anyone? So let me briefly explain here. Hong Kong is a very large marketplace. They have about $5 trillion in market capitalization, give or take a little bit, and they're one of the largest trading exchanges in Asia. So when we're looking at them from an economic perspective, sure, me or you, we're probably not trading on the Hong Kong marketplace or on the Hong Kong stock exchange. However, just because we aren't, it doesn't mean that there's not trillions of dollars there that could be getting released onto the crypto market in the not so distant future. So I want to go ahead and break this down and talk about the implications that this could have and the snowball effect that this could have. Because what this does is not only does this unlock a lot of capital, but it also sets a precedent and a standard for what China is doing, for what the Asian markets are doing, and how the West wants to respond to that. So I'm definitely no geopolitical expert, but when it comes to crypto technology and a bit of economics, this is where I feel like I have my feet. So I want to talk about this just a little bit without getting really political or anything like that. So why is this a big deal? Well, as I said earlier, Hong Kong is one of the largest marketplaces, one of the largest stock exchanges in Asia. It's right up there with Singapore and Shanghai and Tokyo and a lot of the other major players. So what this means is that, again, they have around $5 trillion in market cap just in Hong Kong alone. And this could all be fresh capital that is now going to be able to get cryptocurrency exposure. Now, is it going to be every single crypto, every altcoin, Bitcoin, everything? The odds are no. But what they are going to very likely do is allow certain altcoins, certain cryptocurrencies. I don't believe it's going to be all. Like if you're in the United States, you can pretty much trade about every crypto that is out there, either through a decentralized exchange or just getting an account on one of the different exchanges that we offer here. If they don't have something on Coinbase, you go to KuCoin. If they don't have something on KuCoin, you go to Kraken. If they don't have something on Kraken, you go to crypto.com, so on and so forth. There's pretty much a way to get your hands on every crypto in the United States. I don't think that's how it's going to be in Hong Kong, but we're going to find out fairly soon here. So again, a lot of money on this exchange, almost $5 trillion that could now be allowed to do crypto investing as early as next month, and one of the largest Asian marketplaces. Now, I also said that this sets a bit of a precedent. So with Hong Kong essentially coming out and releasing these new rules, what this means is that it kind of tells the West that they have to get their stuff together because, you know, this is where people might disagree with me, but Hong Kong is basically China. And with them coming up with a precedent saying, we think cryptocurrency is great for free trade, and we think everyone should be able to trade crypto, and we think that the rules should be loosened so that people can have more freedom. It just puts a really bad view on the West if they're saying the opposite of that. So they don't want it to look like that, and they certainly don't want the United States economy, at least, doesn't want Asia to be able to get ahead of it. They don't want to lose that market capitalization. They don't want to lose the trading. They don't want to lose the volume. Things are already hard enough on the economy as it is, and they don't want to start losing any kind of market share to Asia. Now, is it going to be like a massive market share? No, I think a lot of people will prefer to stay in the States as opposed to Hong Kong. But again, it's just the idea that maybe the Chinese or even Asia as a whole is outpacing and outregulating and knowing what they want to do with digital assets like cryptocurrencies a whole lot faster than maybe the Western countries do. So I think that this will put a bit of pressure and set a standard for Western countries to figure out all this regulation stuff. And I think it puts even more pressure on them to not be nearly as hard on it as maybe they were looking to be. Because again, the last thing they want to do, in my opinion, and there's two ways to look at this. The last thing that they want to do, in my opinion, is to ban something that maybe Asia sees as a very intruistic right that everyone should have, right? If they're saying that everyone should be able to trade a cryptocurrency because it's part of the free trade system, the last thing the United States want to do is kind of say that they're going to limit freedoms more than maybe something that China's doing. Just a thought. I think the other way to look at this, again, we want to look at this from all sides, whether we disagree with it or not. But the other side to look at this is maybe they look at it from the opposite perspective. And they say, hey, if China is supporting this thing, or if Asia is supporting this thing as a whole, then maybe that could be a security risk to the United States. So there's two sides to every coin here. And again, I'm not making the argument for one or the other. I think the only argument that one could safely make is that this is going to unlock trillions of dollars in capital, and I think that it positively can impact crypto. And certainly the global exposure that comes with that is something that doesn't matter what side you're on, you're going to be a fan of more money coming into crypto, especially when it comes to terms of across the entire globe, because we don't want all the money from crypto coming in from a single location. So then the other side of that coin that I was talking about is maybe Western countries say, hey, this is a security risk. China is allowing support for more stable coins, or they like the idea of stable coins, or maybe they like the ideas of these certain cryptocurrencies. Maybe there's regulation to be made on that front because that's something that they could get nervous about. Maybe they label it as a security threat. The options kind of are one of two ways here. So it's either they see themselves getting outpaced and they're like, oh my God, we need to allow this. We need to get this through. And it's going to put a little bit of pep in their step, or they're going to see this and go, oh, this is now a security risk because, China has its hands on it. I don't think that's the case. I think that that is a very unlikely scenario. I think that in the least, this will probably, again, just add a little bit of pep to the regulators' step here, and they're going to realize that they're behind the ball on this one, and that they need to kind of just speed up the process. So I say all this, again, my goal here is not to get political. I don't think it is in any way, any of the stuff that I said, but I do see this just being a really big move for crypto. There's a couple of different outcomes, and my goal here is to just bring all the options that I see as someone who has been around in economics and someone who has been around in cryptocurrency for almost a decade now. I just want to talk about the different ways that I could see this playing out. Because if you remember, if you've been around for a long time, China has banned Bitcoin, I think 5, 6, maybe 7+ times. I've kind of lost count at this point, but over the last decade or so, China has banned Bitcoin a lot. So this could all change like in a moment's notice. It could be as early as the end of this year and all of a sudden Bitcoin's banned again. Again, I don't think that's going to happen. I think that Bitcoin is here to stay in Asia as a whole, especially in Hong Kong. And hopefully we see more rollouts like this one across the globe, because that's the whole point of crypto, right? Is we want everyone everywhere to have access to it. And that's why I see this as a really, really positive thing for crypto. Now, is this going to be instant gratification? I don't think so. I don't think that this is going to open up. The crypto markets are going to go from 28, 27K all the way up to, 40, 50, 60K. I don't think that's going to happen overnight. I think that this will be more of a delayed gratification process where over time, this is going to, again, just set more infrastructure. It's going to set more foundation for the crypto market as a whole. And that is going to be a big improving point. So even as we look at the current price of Bitcoin, things are relatively stable. Bitcoin dominance has not moved in the last week or so. Even Bitcoin's price has barely moved in the last week. If anything, it's actually just down a little bit today. But that's going to go ahead and round us off for this video. So again, I hope all of you enjoyed. Again, I just want to bring the information and my opinion and what I think the possible outcomes can be to you, and then let you make your own informed decisions from there. So if you like the content that I make and the view that I have on crypto, definitely consider smashing that like button and smashing that subscribe button. I got a lot more content just like this one coming out in the not so distant future. In fact, we have another video coming out in 2 days on Friday. So get ready for that one. That one's going to be a little bit more news, a little bit more technical analysis focused than this one was. So again, hope all of you did enjoy, and I'll talk to all of you soon.